gameplay were you expecting out of that? Like, Goat Simulator is ridiculous because it was meant to be ridiculous. But it's a fucking bear simulator.
Did Goat Simulator go through a Kickstarter?
No, they just developed.
Exactly my point.
But see, I mean, like I understand, but my whole thing isn't just the game being the fact that it went through Kickstarter, but just the whole aspect of developers going through this and not backing their product or just taking money and walking away. Is that fair for the consumer?
No, of course not. But not in okay. If we're gonna talk about it, let's talk about it.
Hey, Mr. Host, where's my name thing?
You gotta do that your damn self, you lazy bastard. No, seriously, you do have to do it yourself, though.
no, seriously, you gotta do it your own damn self.
Yeah. Hey guys, welcome to the Console Xplosion Podcast. I'm your host, The Philosopher, and today we've got some good topics to talk about. The first being integrity. Specifically, journalistic integrity and the integrity of Kickstarter or the people who use it as a platform. With games like Bear Simulator and Ant Simulator and other games coming out and being funded but not delivering, is there anything that Kickstarter can do to help regulate this, or is this a buyer beware sort of situation? Similarly, you have YouTubers and people who write for websites and magazines that can have a huge impact on how a game sells. Should those people be held accountable, or is it again a buyer beware sort of situation? On the note of integrity, we also talk about Lionhead Studios, the people who brought you Fable 1, 2, and 3, and one other Fable game for the Kinect? I don't know. They're being talked about again because they have a habit of overpromising and under-delivering, and this time they didn't even get to have the game come out. The in-development game Fable Legends was cancelled and is not coming out, and we talked about that. And our last topic is the announcement of a Knights of the Old Republic remake. So Star Wars is getting a Knights of the Old Republic overhaul, but it might not be what you expect. So for more details on that, stay tuned, and as always, thank you guys for watching. Hey guys, I'm the Philosopher. Today we are talking about some stuff that we will get into in just a moment. But first, I have all my awesome guests. I have first Antonio of KotOR Retro Reviews.
Hello.
I have the CEO of the Console Xplosion, Jared, aka Castak.
Hello.
I have the historic nerd. Why can't I say your name? The historic nerd. Ian.
How's it going?
The historic nerd.
The historic nerd.
Historic nerd.
It's hard to say while you're smiling. I think that's the issue. You have to say with a very stern face.
Yeah. Historic nerd.
Historic nerd.
The hysteric nerd.
And Ian, and Tyler, the video game hunter.
Yep, that's me. Hello.
All right. And so before we started, what were you guys kind of going on about? I'm not as in the loop, but you guys are kind of slowly starting to talk about this topic here.
All right, I'll talk about the topic. All right. First of all, we're gonna talk about the fact that Street Fighter V sucks.
Yeah, I think we all agree on that. I think we all agree on that.
I have no opinion. Haven't played it yet.
We're talking about Kickstarter, and not necessarily the Bear Simulator in general, but Bear Simulator The developer got $100,000, made a game, promised some things, didn't deliver on the things, and is pretty much stopping updates because he doesn't want to deal with drama and doesn't want to make the game better. So he is walking away with whatever he has left. Now my question is not really due to the fact of the bear simulator, but more due to the fact of, is this right for the consumer? Like, should Kickstarter step in and say, you said, XYZ, you're not following through. What is there really that we can do? I know the fact of, the bear simulators, what do you expect, right? But I guess that's my question.
Really, there's nothing we can do. When you donate money like to Kickstarter, you should know the risk what you're getting involved.
I agree. I mean, it's stated since in all the different agreements that we have when you want to donate in Kickstarter. There's really nothing Kickstarter can actually legally do. This is just an investment that can or cannot happen. So it's a risk, and then you go ahead and risk it on a fucking bear simulator game. You fucking deserve it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, there you go. I said it.
You fucking deserved it.
Fucking deserve that.
Well, I invested into a pony game.
You deserve it worse.
So are you pretty much saying that because if you take something and if you've put money towards something in Kickstarter, it's pretty much your SOL if the developers don't want to follow through in it? It's a risk?
Yes, well, that's what it is. That's what it is.
Did you hear about those developers that spent all the money they raised from Kickstarter on blow and strippers?
Ant Simulator. On the game Ant Simulator, they did the same thing, yeah.
Was that true, by the way?
Yeah, it was.
Wow.
The game went away shortly thereafter. That, or maybe it was a ruse, so they could just back out of making the game after they raised the money. You're like, oh yeah, we blew it on hookers and coke. Don't come asking questions.
I heard it was a developer that he had a fallout with two other guys or something, and he just found out where all the money was really going to.
Yeah, when he asked to do an internal audit, they pretty much found out where all the money was going, and because the money was going to all those situations, he backed out, but because he technically is in a joint partnership with the other gentleman, they own the rights and all the work for Ant Simulator, so the 2 years worth of work the other guy did, he can't do anything, he can't release the game, he can't do anything in that aspect, or they'll sue him. So he pretty much loses everything.
Oh, that sucks.
Oh.
Were they buddies or?
That's possible.
I was just wondering. I mean, were they buddies? Well, did you got hired by these people? Or?
I think it was the one guy was making the game, brought these guys in to be investors, and they started a Kickstarter that was successful, and this was the outcome. You got to be careful who you do business with. It happens all the time. So
that's true, actually.
Yeah, and here's my thing is that I'm all for Kickstarter and supporting indie developers, but I want to see what they're capable of. And just from a few minutes of searching this guy up, FarJ or FairJ Games, this is the only game I've seen that they worked on, at least as this company. I don't know, they didn't make it super easy to find other games that they worked on, but kind of like Tyler said, you have to, it's enter at your own risk sort of thing, and you really need to know more about the developer before you just go throwing money at it. You can't throw money at an idea. I've been part of this. I've been part of a team where that wanted to do a Kickstarter, and I personally told them that they weren't ready to do a Kickstarter because what we had wasn't good enough. I saw them go through, I personally went through one with them, and they went through 3 failed Kickstarters thinking that people were going to throw money at an idea. And you can throw sprinkles and icings and all kinds of shit on top of your game or your idea, but if you can't deliver, one, you're going to get funded and you're not going to be able to deliver, or two, people are going to see through your bullshit and not give you money. And hopefully, honestly, it's the latter. Hopefully people can see through your bullshit if you're not going to be able to deliver, whether you have good intentions or not. If you're not fully capable of delivering what you intended, then you're kind of dicking people over and making yourself look like an ass in the process.
Yeah, but I don't know, I was reading a quick article about Bear Simulator on Kotaku, and it seemed like the main reason he's getting out of there is because, I guess, like what Tyler said, PewDiePie kind of gave him shit about his game. Like, so basically it's one of those things where the guy had intentions of moving forward, but due to PewDiePie basically shitting all over what he was working on, he's just like, fuck it, I'm walking away with the money.
I haven't seen the video, but what I've been told that PewDiePie, at the end of his video, that he uninstalls the game and gets a refund from Steam.
Wow.
Yeah, all that was in the video, apparently. I haven't seen it, but that's what I heard.
So do you think, like, personalities, like internet personalities or things like that, do you think it's fair for them to do something in those terms to really hurt, like, an independent developer?
Well, I don't think that was the intention, though.
No, he was giving his opinion, and I guess the guy didn't like it.
I mean, what was your question again? You said, is it fair, or? Yeah,
is it fair for, like someone like PewDiePie who could pretty much say, well, I'm gonna boycott this, and with all his fucking followers, damn well that that's what's gonna happen, right? They can make or break.
Is it fair? No, but I mean, is it right to stop someone from having an opinion on a game? Like, if I had 1 million followers and I personally just didn't like a game, should I, like, is it a bad thing for me to not want to play that game and share my opinion? I mean, if 9 million people want to follow my opinion instead of doing it for themselves, is that completely on my fault, or is it the fault of the followers?
The followers.
Yeah, man.
Actually,
have a fucking mind of your own.
Unless we're talking about Street Fighter V, then listen to us.
Actually, for what I've heard, after the PewDiePie video, people actually gave the game a try, and they seemed to like it, and they gave it better review.
It has 4 stars on Steam, or 4.5 stars on Steam, which is odd for it to be doing. So there's some questionable things going on with this personal thing. I think the question itself that you're asking, Castek, about just overall Kickstarter in general is a good thing to point out, because there have been times where stuff like this does happen, and the hookers and blow thing, and sometimes stuff like this happens. But the exact opposite happens too, where you have people like Markiplier who play games like Five Nights at Freddy's, and the game just blows up because he plays a game and he happens to have, at the time I think maybe 6 million. Now he has like over 10 million followers. So you have, sadly and for the better, both sides of the story. People who play a game and like it and influence a bunch of people, and then vice versa. I'm not a big fan of PewDiePie personally. Obviously, he has his own thing that works for him, but I don't like his kind of show. I think people should have a mind of their own when it comes to buying a game. I will gladly share my opinion, but at the end of the day, I know my opinion is just that. It's mine. Some people hold other people like IGN.
Sorry.
IGN or GameSpot or something like that, Game Informer, they hold their opinions higher. And that's the same question. Is you can say not just a YouTuber, but should game reviews, should we hold them accountable for their opinion? Should we hold their opinions higher than YouTubers, or lower, or what sort of thing on that?
Sorry, go ahead.
I was about to say, I say look at multiple reviews and see what's the complaint and what's the positive. If you see the positive, this is what I'm interested in, give it a go and see it for yourself. But if it has a lot of negatives that you really, I guess. I just forgot how they're going to put this, but basically look at the positive and negatives of everyone's review and see if it worked for you.
This is why the game should have been a fucking early access game in Steam and not go through Kickstarter. All this fucking drama was not necessary. We've seen it in all the fucking simulating games that are getting to be annoying, honestly. But let's say that's out of the question. Let's say these are great games. They've started this way. Why not continue this route? Trying to get it through Kickstarter. That's what made it the way it went right now. Actually, again, should have gone through early access. But these guys, I guess, they wanted money, and there you go. You gave it to him.
So, but then again, you talked about holding, IGN and those type of critics accountable for their scoring and stuff.
No.
Really, should their scores matter because of the whole issues with journalistic integrity?
I don't think they matter. You should have some sort of. You should have your own opinion. You can see what they're talking about. You have the good thing right now is that you have so many options. You have before we just had a couple of magazines and that's it. Then the internet came on and you had a little bit more. Now you have so many options. So you can, if you are unsure of a review, you can look at whatever 10, 15 reviews and then you can make your own opinion out of that.
Yeah. Like, I totally get what you're saying, and I do agree that people should have journalistic integrity. At the end of the day, it is a person's choice to buy that game. Now, the older I get and the less time I have and the less, the more I value my spending money, I want to make sure that $60 game is worth the buy. So I will go out and look at, different reviews. If I really want a game and don't know enough about it, I'll go and look at reviews, look at the pros and the cons. But I'm smart enough to know to dig between like the bullshit of like what an opinion is and sort of facts, like showing me what kind of game mechanics there are, what the graphics are, which personally I don't care much about graphics. Story, how is it displayed, how does it play, how is the multiplayer, if there is multiplayer, certain things that I'm looking for. A lot of times people just look at a review and they only look at the number. They see it's a 7 or they see it's a 9 or they see it's a 2 and they don't look at why. A lot of people do that. I've seen it. I know people don't buy games for dumb reasons. Oh, IGN gave it a 3, so it must be a bad game. Like, verbatim, that's what people say. And there are those people who don't know how to think for themselves or just buy what their friends tell them to buy without knowing enough about the game. I think definitely there should be journalistic integrity with YouTubers and people who do reviews, but it is up to the person to be smart about how they're doing the research. Like, I'm buying a car, you better be sure that I'm going to look at as much information as I can. I'll try to see if I can find a professional and see if he can look under the hood for me. With computer parts, yada yada yada, so on. Video games should be no different.
Also,
okay, sorry.
Just really quick, I want to say something.
Mm-hmm.
If a review comes up the day the game comes out as well, I would suggest not to listen that much or be very careful with those reviews, because that means these guys have the game in advance. They probably went to an event where they put a lot of people to review the game, and they put the guys in a very comfortable situation. They give them presents. They give them all the things that might influence the guys. So just be careful of those the first day reviews as well.
Well, we've gotten, as Console Xplosion, we've gotten advanced copies of games, and it hasn't swayed us.
Well, but we're not going to those events, though, are we?
No, but they send them in the mail, and it's before.
We should do that. We'll give you game fucking 10. There you go.
You want an easy 10? Send your game. Address in the comments below.
Well,
PO box, whatever. We'll give you 10.
Even if we get games in advance, do we post them the day they come out?
For the few of them, like the park, we did the park. That was a little after. Grand Theft Auto 5 for the PlayStation 4 came out the day after. We unfortunately didn't get a chance to do the Walking Dead Michonne, but that was another one that we had a chance to do. So
well, I still stand by it. You should still be careful. We take that into a grain of salt. Be careful of that. Sometimes, they do send they try to and I understand the guys, right? They are trying to make their game look as best as they can for reviewers, so that can. I don't know if they can influence them, of course, to change the score that much, but you know, there might be a little bit of that. So just be careful. That's all I'm saying.
You guys keep using the word journalistic integrity, but here's the thing, though. When
journalistic integrity.
Journalistic integrity. Like, here's the thing, though. When YouTubers go and make a video review of something, they're not doing it to actually analyze the merits of the product. They're doing it for entertainment purposes for their audience. So they're tailoring it specifically for these people. So
plus,
they
it's an
have
opinion.
Plus it's opinion. They have zero. Well, here's what's what I'm looking for. Like, they have no responsibility to be honest about the product. They're doing it for pure entertainment. So they're not held to I would say the same standards as a physical magazine would be when it comes to reviewing a product. I mean, you have certain individuals, like I think Angry Joe at one point in time was trying to be a very legitimate reviewer of products and games, but has since turned into this he's angry all the time about games coming out. But ultimately for me, like it's become this thing where if I like a game, I'm going to get the game because I know I'm going to like it, not because I value the opinion of someone else on the game. But so it being a journalistic integrity thing for YouTubers, there's no weight or measure to determine their integrity or their intentions. Like, for example, like the Angry Video Game Nerd, he's a very good reviewer, but all of his stuff is tailored to attack the game for being shitty in a certain way, and he'll illustrate his points by demonstrating the things about the game that he hates and infuriate him. But so it's kind of a biased review. I mean, there are some games I've seen him do, like Cybermorph, for example, isn't that hard or bad of a game on the Atari Jaguar. He just makes it look like a piece of shit. I'm just saying it's not that terrible of a game. It's not like completely a piece of shit. Fair enough. But as far as like the way he presents the information makes it seem exponentially worse than it actually is.
That's true.
The thing is that at the end of the day, it's still even if this is an actual review, not for entertainment like IGN or whoever. At the end of the day, you gotta understand that what you are reading, what you're seeing, what you're hearing, it's an opinion. It's someone's opinion, and like assholes, everyone's got one, right? So.
Absolutely, especially on YouTube.
Especially me, right? I have an opinion, and that's my opinion is the correct way. So.
Yeah.
Except for those children that are born without assholes.
Yeah, it's the truth.
Oh God.
My opinion is fact.
They're all children without assholes, by the way.
That's terrible.
They go through the belly button.
It's a quote from from American Dad when they're like, everyone has assholes. It's like, except for the kids that don't have assholes. And then they read the books of like everybody poops, and then everybody poops except for kids that don't have assholes.
But that turns out to be somewhat true because some people can't go over there. They do surgery when it goes out to the belly button instead.
Tyler.
Kim Jong-un wasn't he the one that doesn't poop? In any case, though, in any case, what I was gonna say, in any case, we still gotta be careful. Not only the opinion, but the conflict of interest. I think it's something that you need to be more careful of than anything else, because there's been instances where that's been a problem in our industry. So.
No. And to add on to what you were saying before, Ian, about the opinions and so forth with YouTubers and entertainment, I agree. And something that personally infuriates me, because I try, even when I like a game or hate a game, I try to remain very unbiased about things. And I know Jared's probably got Street Fighter on the tip of his tongue right now, but I will be the first person to tell you why you shouldn't buy a game if you're a certain kind of person. A lot of people they say this game is bad because it's a shooter, or and I could go as specific or as broad as possible, and a lot of people do that shit, whether it be IGN and Game Informer or just a regular YouTuber. A lot of people do this shit and say that this game is bad because it does this specific thing, instead of you may not like this game or we did not like this game because of this specific mechanic, or just saying the game is just outright broken because of it. Sometimes games are just very poorly made and you can't get around that, but a lot of times games get bad reviews or bad raps because a person has an opinion, and it's a very broad opinion, but it's not the game is not bad because of that specific thing.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, you can argue a lot of things about that, considering, like, if you look at Madden, for example, it's basically the same game with slightly improved graphics and things like that. So it's kind of like, if you're going to get the game because you're a fan of that game, like Street Fighter V, to you, it's different because you're a fan of that series and you're really into it. My dog apparently has an opinion as well. But you're into it and you're a fan of it. Like, same with a lot of people who are really into Call of Duty. It's the same thing. I fell out of Call of Duty a long time ago because I just got tired of where the story was going. So it's one of those things where it's really, you're going to get the game because you value the game, but then there are other people who probably aren't going to get the game, and it can definitely be, especially if you have a gigantic YouTuber like PewDiePie, for example, just completely trashing something you're working on. I can see how that could be very disenfranchising for the individual that's developing it. And where he's just like, you know what, screw this, I don't have to take this shit. I got your money, I have no obligation to pay you back.
Yeah, which it hurts the people who did like the game and were expecting it, but I mean, it's just a casualty of war, I suppose.
Well, that's just the risk associated with Kickstarter. I mean, they have zero obligation to pay you back. I mean, if they mismanage their funds, it's not like they're legally bound to fulfill it.
Yeah, I can't speak on the personality of the developer or developers, but it feels like a kind of Phil Fish situation.
Ooh.
Oh, Fez?
Yeah, where he kept getting bashed and whatnot. Different reasons for getting bashed, from what I understand, but nonetheless, just quit altogether.
Honestly, I mean, like, I can understand, like, because a lot of people, when you get feedback and it's negative feedback, you focus on only the negative because that's the most emotionally jarring for you. Where positive feedback, you're like, oh, that's great, but you'll focus on the negative. So,
especially you're a perfectionist.
Especially people who are perfectionists, especially someone like Phil Fish, who spent almost like 6 years developing that game with a buddy and then blah, blah, blah. But yeah. And then, so you have that, and then you have other people who have developed really good games, but as soon as negative criticism came out, that was all they could think about. And I mean, these aren't necessarily the most, might sound odd, but they're not like the most social people, so people bashing their work on the internet, they'll take very personally. So I can see how they could overreact in that manner.
No, I agree 100%. And if you've seen the documentary that, I can't say the word, that he did, him and the other team Meat, you could see that he wasn't a very stable person to begin with, and you could already see, I can't think of the word right now, but he had a very, I don't know if chauvinistic is the right word, but like kind of a snobbish personality, and I don't really care either way, but you could see how like a lot of bad comments and things going his way could totally deteriorate his personality and just make him go into a downward spiral to the point to where he just like screw this shit. And you have a lot of people who are saying, oh, this guy is scared or whatever, but at the end of the day, no one knows what is going on inside of his head. He could be battling a lot of demons. We don't know. I might joke on one person or another, but in all seriousness, I mean, he could be going through some definite mental depression or whatever, and a lot of people go through this stuff. We don't know what happened to the bear simulator guy people.
Can you imagine, like, 2 million PewDiePie fans just coming at you all at once and shitting all over your work? So I can't imagine that.
Bro,
I'd probably be like, oh god, that'd be like the worst day. His email probably got destroyed.
Yeah.
So for that situation, I can almost kind of understand him walking away, considering what PewDiePie has, like, 20 million subscribers now?
I think 22.
Yeah, 22 million potential subscribers with him be like, and here's the weird thing to me, like, he asked for his money back. The dude's a fucking millionaire. It was like, what, $20? What is that? That's like the equivalent of a penny to him. So, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe he needed a sandwich that day.
So to kind of go back onto
42 million.
Shit.
Are you kidding me?
42 million fucking subscribers?
42.6.
I think he is the highest rated YouTuber on YouTube, or he was at one point.
Highest rated? Let's not play with that.
Highest subs. He has the highest subs on YouTube.
Wow, 40? I thought last time I checked he had like 20 something.
42,656,930.
Yeah.
Do we really have that many people looking at YouTube?
I would like to have the last 930. Can you give it to me?
I'll send your way. I'll send some on your way.
Send some my way. Come on, man.
Yeah, my subscribers keeps going up for some odd reason.
That is very good, man.
It is, but I want other other people on the TCX get some too.
Yeah.
Please go to them, people.
You should do that.
I probably should.
Thanks, Tyler.
You're welcome.
To kind of go on back to the topic of not delivering what was expected of you, I kind of want to go on this topic briefly because I feel it. Well, it could go on for a while, but basically the game that Lionhead Studios and I can't think of the other name of the developer right now. Was it Press Play Studios? The people who are making Fable Legends, they canceled the game. Lionhead Studios is going to be closing their doors in April, and also Press Play Studios has closed. And I guess it's sad if you were looking forward to the game, but to someone like me, it was kind of expected, to be honest. But what are your guys' thoughts? Do you guys know anything about it? First off,
about them closing down?
Yeah, about the game, about Lionhead Studios, about Peter Molyneux.
This is literally news to me right now.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, it is sad because I really did enjoy Fable until they went to Connect.
You do know the Molyneux cycle, though, right?
Elaborate.
It's just a cycle where Peter Molyneux comes with a game, says that it's gonna be fucking amazing. It's gonna have like all these features, and then he comes out. It's just he knows that it's not even true of that, and then after that, and he's coming with the next game. He shits on his last game, saying that he agrees that he didn't have anything, but the cycle starts again. Then it starts saying again for the new game, says it's gonna have this much thing. It's coming amazing, and it repeats and repeats and repeats.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I've never been. I played the first Fable for a bit. It didn't hook me, so I didn't play any other of that those series. But I don't know. I don't have the appeal for those. I don't know if anyone else has.
I played the first one multiple times. I don't know how many times I beat that game because it's such a short game. It's like 6 hours long.
Yeah. Me personally, I played the first one because of all the hype. My friend, you have that one friend that's like, oh, this game's going to have this and that and this and so on. And so you get hyped up just from proximity pretty much. And so you get the game. And, I did enjoy it. It didn't have all the things that he promised, but I felt it was still a pretty solid game. I just had the standard one, not the Lost Chapters, until years later on when I met someone else that had it. But I enjoyed it, and then, I was kind of excited for the next one because they hyped it up. I watched all the developer diaries and so on, and that one kind of left a bad taste because they were promising co-op and all this other stuff, and I love co-op, and that's where they kind of, fucked me over because they said they're going to have all this co-op, and then I get the game, and I felt like the co-op was very lacking. You're just playing as a henchman and this and that, and it kind of scarred me to the point where I didn't...
Scarred you?
Yeah, well, not scarred me in like an emotional way, but it scarred me from wanting to buy their games again. I'm not... They stopped me from being a return buyer, and... The third one came out, and I didn't even buy it. I just, I happened to work at GameStop at the time, so I just checked it out. But I had the money to just, I would just buy games just to buy them and have them. I was a collector of, just current games, and I didn't even want to buy the game because I was too scared and too burnt from the last one. I was like, I'm not going to buy this game, and I was disappointed. I beat the game in a couple of days. It didn't have all the things they promised. It was hyped up, and the hype before it came out was more exciting than the actual game itself, all the mini games that you could download on PlayStation Arcade and so on. And it sucked. And you see this person who hypes up this game and you can't even trust him. And you think he's some sort of egotistical, narcissist who thinks that his game is the best game ever each time and not really acknowledging that his game is nowhere near as good as it should have been.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not really that surprising. This game looked kind of promising, but as all his other games did, they only showed the good, so we don't know. Obviously, it wasn't doing as well as we thought it was. Just so you guys know, this was not their typical Fable game. This was going to be a MOBA, but with their spin on it. It was going to be a 4-on-1, where you have 4 people playing the different roles, and then you have one person playing as a villain who summons all the minions and tries to take out all the good guys, which was a very cool idea. It was supposed to be on PC and Xbox One. I know they debuted the trailer back in 2015 at E3, and it looked like a cool idea, but I mean, I don't know how big of a hand Peter Molyneux had in it, but I remember seeing him in an interview earlier on, but I hadn't heard anything from him since then. But it's just, it's sad to see all the people that worked under him, because I know how influential someone can be when you're like, this game's going to be great, and you're working under them, and you think that it's going to be the best thing ever, and you're working really hard, only to see that a bunch of people are bashing your game. You know, you worked hard on it, maybe just as an animator or a 3D artist, or, you know, someone just doing a small job in it, and to have this happen to you, I'm sure they're going to be okay. You know, these people are very talented, and they did a good job to the best of their ability. They weren't the leaders, but it's sad to see this happen, and it's happening every day. And I don't know. What do you guys think about this? It's kind of I guess a touchy subject for me. Jared's yawning. He's like, I don't give a shit.
Peter Molyneux is just a joke to me in that whole Fable series. I think it's great for Microsoft to cut the fat, and hopefully the people out of Lionhead Studios go to a different company and make a successful game that they want to make, and not deal with Molyneux's bullshit all the time.
Yeah. I don't know. I used to like Lionhead Studios, for example. They made, like, when they first started, they made some really good games. Like Black and White and Black and White 2 were fantastic. But Fable always fell short to me, considering they promised so much, and they never ended up delivering on what they promised. And so from that point on, I played the first Fable, and I remember reading about it in Xbox Magazine when they first introduced it, and it promised all these things about how everything you did in this world would impact your character. Like, if you used a sword, you'd get strong and big from that, or if you used a bow, you'd be more dexterous and stuff like that. So it was kind of, they promised a lot of stuff that they eventually never cashed in on. So it eventually, I guess, became really weary of anything that the Fable universe promised, to where I just never played any of them because I was like, eh. Yeah.
This is the only thing that Fable ever promised that they followed through on. Take up your wallet, open it up. Whoop, here's your money.
Oh, I don't have anything.
Like, you'll pay $60 for it.
It's coming to Xbox.
To an Xbox near you.
You're gonna pay $69.99 for this game, and it's gonna have no single player. It's gonna be online only. The arcade mode is gonna be really small. It's not gonna have any lobbies. It's gonna be the characters you have to play and keep playing in order to get points in game to be able to unlock 900 hours worth of playing. Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking about Street Fighter V.
Say what? That's actually a good example of, like, what I was going back to earlier about a couple of different things. One being the first person to tell you why you shouldn't buy a game, and then also I can't think of my other topic right now, but gosh, I'm out of it. I can't think right now, but I'll get back to that later when I remember. But I do want to at least go to my last topic here, which is something I'm personally excited for. Which I'll see how I'm going to wait. As I get older, I'm more and more skeptical. But there is a Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake being made. There is some early, I guess, alpha footage. It's supposedly called, I don't know how it's spelled, but it's a Apeiron for the remake, and it's actually an indie studio that's doing the remake. And it's going to be in first and third person, kind of like the older one. I know it was in third person, but I'm pretty sure you could switch to first person as well if you wanted to. But I'm actually really excited for this, and it's really cool to see that an indie developer is doing it. I don't think this is the first time that an indie developer is doing a remake or a remaster. I don't know what the right word for this is, but it looks good so far, and I'm hoping that maybe we can get a true sequel to it again, like a finished sequel to it.
Is this a fan-made project, or is this backed and licensed by Bethesda?
I'm pretty sure. You mean BioWare?
BioWare, sorry.
I'm pretty sure it is. I'm going to find some links to share. Apeiron is what it's called. Let's see here. I'm pretty sure they have the license because they would have already been like stomped out by now. So I'm gonna find that in just a little bit for you guys, and I'll post a link to.
Speaking of KotOR, if that's like the one thing, like that's the one Star Wars game I would love to see made into a movie. Just how freaking good that game was.
I didn't care for it, if I remember correctly.
I don't think you played it.
I did. I played it. I played it once, and I remember not caring for it.
I played it once, and I was tired. My eyes hurt, and I didn't care for it.
No, my friend was spending a night that day, and he brought that game over, and I actually played it once, and not caring for it.
I like the game. I liked it a lot. I just bought KotOR 2, and I beat it for the first time, and I'm very upset with that.
Yeah, KotOR 2 was unfortunate. Like, I didn't really care for where they went with that one, but like then KotOR Online, like I played that one really aggressive, and I enjoyed how the game was put together, but it just wasn't the same as like KotOR 1, like that whole universe and the way you had direct influence over it. And KotOR 2 and KotOR Online had this kind of removed feeling where you weren't directly influencing the fate of the galaxy while you were playing. It was just like you were a member of it.
Nerd.
Yeah. Nerd. But I mean, like for me, like the funny thing was like when you think about how they went from KotOR and then they made Mass Effect in a very kind of, it was definitely different mechanics, but it was a similar feel. Or even what's the other game they made that was basically they were fighting like dragons and shit. What was that one called?
Neverwinter Nights?
No, there was another one they made where it would be like, God, what was it called?
Can you try it again?
Skyrim?
No, it was the people who made KotOR went and made a fantasy type game that was.
Oh, you're talking about Jade Dynasty or Jade Empire?
No, not Jade Dynasty. This came out on like Xbox 360, but I can't remember what it's called.
You have a computer in front of you.
I know. I got a portal to all the human knowledge in the world, and I just can't remember how this stupid game's called.
Just look up BioWare. But while you do that, I'm gonna go over this real quick. So.
Are you talking about Dragon Age?
Yes, that piece of shit game.
Oh damn.
Oh.
Yeah, because Dragon Age was cut and dry KotOR, and so when I started playing freaking Dragon Age, I'm like, all I want's KotOR, and this isn't KotOR.
Play Jade Empire or Jade Dynasty.
Baldur's Gate. That was a good one. They made good games with Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, I guess as far as like how basically Dragon Age was pretty much this exact same game as KotOR with like the way the mechanics were, and it just all I wanted was KotOR at that point.
So to kind of, do you not know?
I was gonna say I just don't think they would make KotOR in a movie.
I think they should. I agree. I don't think they will. I wish they would, because it has a very robust and open storyline where they could do a bunch of different stuff. I would like an animated, like a 3D animated type of thing.
I think once they exhaust every possible idea for the current generation of Star Wars, with like the Han Solo spinoff, Rogue Squadron, Episode 7, 8, and 9, I think eventually they're going to run out of ideas, and then they're going to start going to KotOR. And that's when I'm going to be really, really happy with where the Star Wars films go.
Mm-hmm.
Spin-off of Boba Fett as well in there.
Oh god, they're doing a spin-off of Boba Fett?
Yeah, it's the last single one before Episode 10. So it goes Boba Fett, or 9, yeah.
Okay,
9.
so I'm like, wait, they've already announced they're going to make 10?
You know they'll end up making 10.
Oh, of course. This franchise, they're going to get their money. They've already made, what, half of the $3 billion back already? Yep. So they're like, we gotta milk this some more.
Mm-hmm. So the name of the studio is Apeiron Studios, so I guess that's why they call it KotOR Apeiron. But I kind of want to read this short little clip here. It says, is this legal? Because they have it on their website. I'll link to the website. It's www.apeirongame.com. But it says, is this legal? We believe so. Can you make a Star Wars game? Engine refresh of games have been around since the 80s, and some have become very successful. Games like Black Mesa from Half-Life and Renegade X, you built Command and Conquer in the Unreal Engine. This is a full version or a full conversion refresh. That being said, you will have to own a copy of the original game in order to play Apeiron, since we are using the original audio and music. At its core, Apeiron is the most intense KotOR modification ever. So it's basically a huge mod that's going to reconstruct the original one. So it's not a complete remake. It's not BioWare making the game or EA. It's just a mod. It's going to be free as long as you own a copy of KotOR.
You can get it on Steam pretty cheap now.
Yes, and they might have a Steam sale that bundles it with it, because I don't know if you guys remember, but when Just Cause 2, they made a multiplayer mod, and they made a huge discount to where you can get a bundle and get it with a friend and so on. So Steam really supports these sort of things, and hopefully, I don't know how BioWare is going to be about it, but I mean, if they were smart, they'd make some money off of it. I guess I don't know, if they still make money off the Steam purchases or how that works, but I know Steam would be all for it, and I think it's a good idea. I think it's awesome seeing this sort of thing, and I think for the developers, this could be a good opportunity for them to be brought on by BioWare to make another game, to make to work on Mass Effect or whatever, or they could do their own thing if they want to remain independent. So to answer your question, it is not BioWare or EA. That was a good question, but now we know it is. It's a big mod, which I'm excited for. I do own multiple copies of KotOR on Xbox, the original Xbox, and Steam. So yeah, that's good to know. I'm looking forward to it. I don't see a release date just yet, but I will be happy when it comes out. I kind of wish it was a complete remake, but the game graphically looks very nice. Hopefully the gameplay's been updated, but we shall see. I'll keep my eye on it and try to see if I can give any updates as we get more.
And it looks like you can play it on an iPad. If you go to their Twitter account, it shows that someone's playing it on an iPad.
Oh.
So
I don't know how I feel about that, but I mean, if people like iPads, I wouldn't do it, but.
No, I would say that this project's going to go right up to release, and then EA steps in.
Think so?
EA or Disney steps in.
Disney, that's a good point. I mean,
because when you look at it, yes, Black Mesa, Renegade X, yes, they did it good because Steam allows that, Valve allows that, because that's what it is, like with Gary's Mod and all that jazz, right? They like that. They're okay with that because they know if people remake their games, they don't need to make Half-Life 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
KotOR, I don't think BioWare would do anything because I think they're a cool company. They've been pretty cool with us as well. But when you look at EA and you look at Disney, they have a different look at it, right? I mean, Disney fucking goes to cemeteries, and if you have Winnie the Pooh on your child's thing, they'll take it off, right? They'll chisel it out or make you take your tombstone away, right? That's how they are about their stuff. So,
has that actually happened?
Yes, it's happened.
Wow.
That seems a bit.
So I don't like Disney in that sense. They're very harsh with that for something like a baby dies and they put Winnie the Pooh on their tombstone and then Disney goes over there and takes the tombstone or chisels the shit out of it.
Damn.
And it is Disney because these parents get cease and desists letters from Disney. So you look it up; it's online. And they also
I would say screw you. I'm doing it anyway.
Well, it's more of a. I'm assuming that's probably more of a thing where the person who fabricated the tombstone used Winnie the Pooh without license. That would probably be more my expectation as opposed to like a parent going and modifying a tombstone on their own. There's probably like copyright and all kinds of weird issues involved in that, but my thought would be that someone commercially was manufacturing these without their consent.
And sold it.
And so that would be my thought. I mean, yeah, it's horrible at the idea of
that happening.
Parents having their kids' tombstone taken away. That's pretty freaking awful. I'm just saying that's maybe where they came at it from a legal standpoint. I don't know anything about it, but it's screwed up.
But there's also stories of them going to daycares, and if you have like Disney characters painted on their walls, they'll come in and paint over it, right?
That has a lot to do with just how intellectual property is held, because here's an example. Like, it used to be that intellectual property lasted for the lifetime of the person who created it, but now we've extended it to 70 years, 80 years, and they're fighting to make it go even longer, because Disney is fighting the notion that because once these characters that they've designed become in the popular consensus and imagination of the public, do they really own them anymore, in the sense that people are drawing these things on their own and putting them all over the place? So Disney is fighting a battle against this notion of when things become public domain. So Disney is fighting this tooth and nail to protect this product they've created. And ultimately, I think they're eventually going to lose, because I'm assuming public domain laws here eventually are going to reset, and they're probably going to lose all these products that they made like 60, 70 years ago, because honestly, they should have lost them already. Because, like, for example, like, here's one, like The Wizard of Oz. That book, in the 1930s, the reason why you had Wizard of Oz movies come out was because the Wizard of Oz books became public domain. So anyone technically can make a movie about the Wizard of Oz. So it's one of those things where Disney is just fighting this tooth and nail, and they're fighting it in court, anywhere, because if they let these products exist in these places and they just let people do it, that's them allowing these people to use it because it's in the public imagination. So that's where they're coming from. I don't necessarily think it's right, but that's what they're doing.
So it's like the same as like tattoo shops. If someone gets a Mickey Mouse tattoo, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
same thing.
I actually heard tattoo artists actually suing video game companies for using tattoos on certain characters.
Yeah, that happens too, yeah.
Yeah, like the guy who did Mike Tyson's tattoo is suing EA because Mike Tyson's in the new UFC 2 game, and he has his tattoo, and the guy says it's his intellectual property, that he made that tattoo, it's his, so he's suing them because of it. He also sued the people who did Hangover, when the one guy had the Mike Tyson's tattoo on his face. That was his quote-unquote design, so he sued the movie company because they used his design. And it's things like this that just makes me hate the society we live in.
Did he win?
I don't know. I never chose to follow it because it's a society we live in, and it makes me sick some days.
That is kind of annoying. But that is the note I think I kind of wanted to end it on. Society makes us, or at least Jared, sick sometimes with that kind of stuff. I actually agree on that note, though, to be honest with you. That's fucking ridiculous. But, yeah. I don't know. Do you guys have anything else to add on to it before we head out?
Nope.
Okay. So, this blew by pretty quickly for me. Can't believe it's already so late, but hey, I guess I'll go through the line and you guys to let them know where they can find you. First off, we have Antonio.
Hey, hello. Yeah, you can find me on YouTube at KotOR Retro Reviews. It should be there. It's showing, right?
Yeah.
And KotOR, my Twitter. And, of course, at the Console Xplosion.
Cool. And Ian?
Yeah, you can find me at historicalnerd on twitter.com, or you can visit me on my website, www.historicnerd.com, or you can find me on YouTube, Historic Nerd. But yeah.
All right, and Tyler?
You can find me on YouTube, The Video Game Hunter, or Hot Anime 32. They will both take you to the same channel. Twitter, VGH32, Facebook, The Video Game Hunter, and every Friday is Furry Friday streaming.
Oh, yeah, super sexy. And then we all know where we can find you, Jared, but do you have anything else to add on?
No, nothing.
If you're American, get out and vote. Go register, get out and vote.
More you know.
Can I do that after I come back?
No, Tyler! You go and vote right now!
Go, Trump! Go, Trump! Go, Trump! USA!
Hey, you don't even vote in America.
Oh, yeah, I'm Mexican, right? But Trump loves some Mexicans. What are you talking about?
He's gonna make jobs. He's gonna make jobs for you guys.
You know who his VP is gonna be? John Cena. It's gonna be amazing.
John Cena.
Yeah, but I know Stone Cold Steve Austin's will come in and Stone Cold Stunner Trump like he did many years ago.
Oh yeah, when Donald Trump was on the WWE, yeah.
Yeah, back when I used to watch wrestling.
I bet you still do.
Actually, not anymore. I haven't watched it since. Actually, I tried to get back into it last year, but I couldn't do it. I watched some kind of cage match.
Oh yeah, Jared and somebody else does.
Fuck you.
Damn.
Well, I tried to get back into it last year, but I couldn't do it.
Wrestling sucks. That's all it is. So.
Oh no, you got Lucha Libre.
I know.
The real wrestling.
Actually,
the free wrestling.
I actually went to Mexico and got a Lucha Libre mask.
Well, did you go to a Lucha Libre event though?
No, I got off of some stand.
Here in Guadalajara, we have a very famous Lucha Libre, and I've been to some of those.
Don't you have like a Lucha Libre guy who hasn't taken off his mask in so many years?
Yeah.
He wears it in public and he never took it off.
Yes,
they all do.
Actually, yeah, they all do. Yeah.
They do?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. I feel like you're messing with me.
No, we have what they call rudos and what they call the good guys. And the good guys are the ones that have the masks, and in public they never take it off.
Yep.
Wow, so in case they die, they can be replaced.
That's actually pretty much some of it too that they can pass it on.
Yeah,
because that's why they have I think the Viano family. The Vianos, they started with Viano 1 and 2. They were brothers, and now they're on Viano 5 and 6. And Tiger Mask, you started, you passed the mask on to the next guy. Now you're on Tiger Mask 6. So, and that's his name is Tiger Mask 6, because it's been passed on to 6 different wrestlers, right?
El Tigre.
And you can keep that going, right? You can keep that character alive and keep him in the masses for longer than you can with someone who's unmasked.
The Undertaker. It's super old, but yeah, that's cool.
I think he's done now, isn't he?
Who?
Undertaker. I thought he was done.
No, he's wrestling Shane McMahon at WrestleMania 32 in a Hell in a Cell match for control of the WWE's Monday Night Raw. What?
There you go.
I mean, can't Shane do that anytime he wants?
No, because Shane's been out of the WWE for the last 6 years.
Yeah, I heard he just came back.
Running his own company in China for on-demand movies, and he stepped down as the CEO. He sold all his stocks in the WWE when he left, and now he's back, and here he is.
Wow.
Interesting.
Wow. Well, fascinating. You should do a episode on that if you haven't already. You probably have, but yeah, as always, I'm The Philosopher. You can find me on Facebook.com/ThePhilosopher, Twitter right there, at Philosopher, also YouTube.com/Philosopher, but of course on theconsoleexplosion.com, and also please be sure, if you are watching this on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe, like, and leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think about what we talked about, if you guys are excited for anything that's coming up, or if you're pissed off at Peter Molyneux and Lionhead Studios, or you're sad or happy, whatever. And as always, check out the links down for our affiliates. Go ahead and check those out, all those things that we represent. So thank you guys so much, and we will see you in the next one.